Hello and welcome back to Func. My name's Colby Hawk.
And I'm Brady West. Thanks for tuning in. This week's gone by really quickly. So, how's it been for you?
Well, I've had quite a lot of assignments, especially big ticket essays and projects. And this is kind of that time of the year where you start having to prepare for your final projects and everything, but you haven't really quite started things fully yet. Lots of proposals, lots of, outlines and research and all that stuff. So I don't know how much you have as a freshman that's like that right now, but you do probably have exams, right?
I do have exams. They're coming up very, very soon. I think by late November, one of them's going to start, and we take it home, and then we bring it back by a certain day. It's coming up soon.
Well, take-home exams can be good or they can be bad. Is it open note?
It is open note.
Okay.
He even lets us use open notes on tests and quizzes, so very generous, man.
Fantastic, yeah. So that's one of the good ones. You're going to have actually a pretty good shot at doing really, really well. So that's good to hear. Sometimes those take-home tests, they can be really hard whenever they're open note. So it sounds like you've probably scored. So best of luck on that.
Thank you very much. You as well with all your research and project planning.
Well, thank you. It's going to be a busy couple of weeks before we wrap up, and we're on break before we know it. So I look forward to that.
Most certainly.
So anyway, with that in mind, we've had some mixed weather conditions this week. So let's take a look at what's in store for the weekend. Today has been sunny with a high of 68 degrees and a low of 38. Tomorrow, you can expect identical temperatures and conditions. Then on Saturday, it's predicted to warm up slightly to a high of 71 and a low of 43 with partially cloudy skies. Then, moving into Sunday, it's expected to warm up a little more to a high of 73 and a low of 49 with sunny skies. After some colder days earlier this week, this is a nice time to enjoy some better weather outside.
Now for today's word of the day, peremptory. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, peremptory is a formal word used especially in legal contexts to describe an order, command, etc. that requires immediate compliance with no opportunity to show why no one should not comply. It is also used disapprovingly to describe someone with an arrogant attitude or something indicative of such an attitude. This phrase can be used in context of sentences such as, the soldiers were given a peremptory order to abandon the mission, or the boss gave peremptory instructions for the workers to stop what they are doing immediately.
As we move into the weekend, there are some CLPs happening that you may want to consider checking out. The Furman Theater Arts Department is hosting a performance of their musical, Between the Lines, tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. in the Playhouse Main Theater. Tickets are currently on sale now at furman.ludus.com.
Also, if you're looking for a CLP to start the next week off, consider checking out the speaker event hosting Dr. Brett McCarty, graduate of Furman University and teacher in the Medical and Divinity School at Duke University, for a seminar on community health and the opioid crisis. The event is happening in the Trone Student Center, Burgess Theater, from 6 to 7 p.m. on Monday. For those events and others happening soon, be sure to check out the CLP calendar at furman.edu.
In sporting news, your Furman football team returned to their losing ways on Saturday, suffering a 45-28 defeat at the hands of the Chattanooga Mocs. Once again, a poor defensive showing led to the Den's downfall, as after a back-and-forth first half that saw the game deadlocked at 21, the Paladins were outscored by 17 in the second half. Simply put, you cannot afford to play that poorly against a beatable opponent, and as a result, there may be some coaching changes at the conclusion of this season. Nevertheless, your Dens will take on VMI next weekend at the Paladin Stadium. We hope to see you all there.
The Furman basketball team suffered an agonizing 64-61 defeat against the reigning Sun Belt champion Troy Trojans on Friday night. Contrary to the football team, your Paladins played a poor first half, being outscored by 13 points. However, they picked up the play considerably in the second half, outscoring the Trojans by 10, but Furman ultimately came up short. On the bright side, the Dens played significantly better than in the season opener, decreasing their number of turnovers and improving their three-point percentage.
Finally, the Carolina Panthers. Frankly, this was one of the most disappointing performances in team history. When considering the Saints' inferior roster, record, and lack of home field advantage, Carolina was in a prime position to move up in the division standings with a win on Sunday. However, the New Orleans' potent defense shut down superstar running back Rico Dowdle, and Bryce Young looked no better than your high school's JV quarterback. With that said, the defense did show flashes of brilliance as the defensive line applied pressure to Tyler Show all game. Luckily for the Panthers, no matter how deflating this loss may seem, you can only lose one game at a time. Next week, the Cardiac Cats travel down I-85 to take on the Atlanta Falcons. That's all for sports. With that, that's it for today's show. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to contact us at can'tstopthefunk@gmail.com. I'm Colby Hawk.
And I'm Brady West. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.